which receiver in, say, the AFC North or the NFC East will finish with the most receiving yards and where we can find some value. So first off, some general ideas, some general approaches to this market that I was looking at. And maybe they could also apply to, say, the NFL in general or specific games, things like that. But when it comes to which receivers I think will perform well, there are two things that I want to know. Number one, who's naturally talented, who's a good football player. But the second one is who's going to get a lot of opportunities. It's one thing to just be really talented, but it's a second thing where the quarterback is targeting you a good bit. So Josh Hermsmeyer put together the weighted opportunity rating, or Whopper, and he uses it more for fantasy purposes than anything else, DFS a good bit. But I do think it is adaptable to at least helping us find some value in the betting markets. And so Whopper and air yard share, those kinds of things are what I looked at as far as trying to find some value in these markets.
Amari Cooper is intriguing at 7-1 with Deshaun Watson. I think that is worth a look. Now, I think Lamar Jackson has a lot of options. That's kind of what scared me when we're talking about a quarterback who could spread the ball out. You've got Rashad Bateman, Odell, Zay Flowers. Heck, Mark Andrews is really good. He had 847 yards as a tight end. So that, to me, you could get some really good value. Like, I'm not going to lie, like, I had stars in my eyes when I saw Odell Beckham 75-1. What if he turns back the clock? You're getting some great value. Is that really going to happen? Can he stay healthy? And, oh, by the way, Lamar actually has a lot of options this year, which he hasn't had before. So that kind of led me to really land on Amari Cooper. He had just almost 1,200 yards last year.
Mark Andrews is at 16-1, and to me, that is an absolute no-no. The only tight end in this whole thing I'm taking seriously is Travis Kelce. For the entire market, no matter the division, the only tight end I'm taking seriously is Travis Kelce, which, you know, A, goes to show he's the GOAT, but B, tight ends have so many other responsibilities, not that wide receivers don't block, but tight ends have so many other responsibilities, and you're requiring them to be yak guys to the point where you're asking a yak guy to all of a sudden have more receiving yards than some true hot shot vertical threats. And to me, that's just bad process. And if you look historically at receiving yards by tight ends, they just pale in comparison to some of the top receivers, even when you're isolating it to a division. Now we're going to do the NFC West, and Cooper Kupp, massive favorite at minus 220. DK Metcalf plus 380, Tyler Lockett plus 550, Debo 13-1. Who do you like here?
All right, last year, this guy had 709 yards in 12 games. That puts him at an average of 59 yards per game. Times that by 17, that puts him over 1,000 yards. The Cardinals, I'm looking at Marquise Brown at 14-1. The Cardinals are going to be bad. They're going to be playing from behind. I get it. Kyler Murray is going to miss some time, but once he does come back, I think this is a good look. You don't have Hopkins. You've got no other target in terms of competition. I really like this, and I trust Colt McCoy as well. So Marquise Brown, 14-1 is my favorite play in the NFC West for the receiving leader.
One game that stood out to me happening Saturday night, we've got the Bills as 1.5-point favorites going up against the Steelers. And if you are to believe Sean McDermott, Bills head coach, Josh Allen and the starters will play about a quarter and a half against what will likely be a vanilla defense by Pittsburgh. So again, if you want to take a first half route because you believe in Josh Allen and company, and goodness knows that's certainly not a bad approach, you're looking at, first half isn't listed here, but again, spread is minus 1.5 for the Bills. So you do have that key number of 2 that you're not going through. So that's important. Total's 42.5. To me, that seems really high. It's high for a preseason game, yes, but it also feels high in this situation, regardless of how much Kenny Pickett and company play for the Steelers. It feels high to me because let's say Josh Allen effectively moves the ball down the field, maybe even scores, on a couple of touchdown drives, something like that. Don't you pull him right away? Like, I get quarter and a half is approximate, but I wonder if it's something where if they are effective, then you're pulling him immediately and the starters immediately so you can get the backup some playing time. And so this idea of a quarter and a half is nebulous at best.
The game that I find super intriguing is Florida at Utah because Cam Rising's injured, the backup's injured. They could be starting their third string quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen here. What are your thoughts? I know you said you haven't placed any week 0 bets yet, but what's your overall assessment of this game and how do you rate Utah?
So to me, how I'm hoping the season plays out for Utah from a big picture standpoint is I'm hoping Cam Rising sits until closer to conference play and the market kind of forgets about Utah. Maybe they lose to Florida in week 1 and then maybe they lose to Baylor in week 2 also. That's a tricky spot traveling to Waco. And maybe the market forgets about Utah and we end up getting maybe this plus 550 to win the Pac-12 moves to plus 650 or plus 700, even though those games don't mean anything to the Pac-12. Obviously, that means Cam Rising isn't 100% just yet, but I think, to me, Kyle Whittingham wants to make this a 3P in the Pac-12, the last year of the Pac-12. I think they're going to be really cautious with Cam Rising. Based on the reports, I don't know anything. I'm just reading through the tea leaves. I don't think Cam Rising is going to play. Still limited in practice. Maybe it's gamesmanship. I just think that the bigger prize is in the Pac-12, and that starts in week 4 against UCLA. I just don't know if they're going to rush Cam Rising back. Backup Rose, lacerated kidney, I believe it was. He was in the hospital. Doesn't sound very good. I don't know if he's going to play. And look, I went to Wisconsin. You can see the Wisconsin helmet behind me. I don't think Graham Mertz is very good, but it's still Florida. It's still an SEC school, so I think they're going to hold up pretty nicely. To me, the only way to play this game, this game has been trickling down all summer. 7.5 is gone. Buy this touchdown right now with Florida, plus 7. At the worst, you're getting an underdog with a Utah team that's already banged up heading into the year. If Cam Rising plays, you can buy out, or you can still ride this underdog at over a touchdown in a low total game. Or Cam Rising's ruled out, and this number drops to 4, 3.5, 3, and it's a third stringer likely for Utah, and Florida's a really live dog there. Big picture, I still like Utah. I'm probably looking to buy them to win the Pac-12. I'm probably hoping, though, the number drifts out a little bit further, though, as the market sours on them.